Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Secret Files 2 Puritas Cordis? Puritas Cordis? Yeah. So last time, a lot of stuff happened. Nina's cruise ship was, yacht was, not really attacked. Instead, the mystery man she was investigating turned out to be a Puritas Cordis agent. And he murdered a couple people, actually. He threw the ship's doctor overboard. He strangled Katharina Jordan. He shot the captain. And then he was airlifted off by a modified hide gunship last we saw. And that was right before a giant wave crashed into the Calypso. And then we went over here to where Max Gruber is apparently doing documentary stuff instead of archaeology stuff, kind of, now. And he's working with this archaeologist, Sam Peters, and their camp got attacked. And now Sam Peters has been kidnapped and Max Gruber has been knocked unconscious. So here we are. Let's get started by looking at everything.
These scary faces are supposed to keep evil spirits away from the temple. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work for my charming guard. The wire is wrapped around one of the bamboo tubes. What for? No idea. There is a hole right under that ugly mug. It's pitch dark. I can't make out a thing. This slanted wall reminds me of a launch ramp. The bowl contains bananas, oranges, and raspberries. The first two are nothing special, but I really wonder how they got their hands on raspberries here. Somebody must have brought it here, because the bogs of North and South Carolina are its only natural habitat. A bush with white berries. But at this distance, I cannot tell what kind of berries they are.
Actually, as far as the Venus flytrap goes, we have a couple in bogs in Wisconsin, actually. I vividly remember those bogs because I fell into one and was almost sucked up by it.
There are two things I really cannot stand about this guy. The fact that he keeps me prisoner here and his fashion sense, which is terminally warped, even for a man. The campfire is expertly built. The guard seems to know all about this kind of stuff. No idea what kind of animal this used to be. It must have been lying there for some time.
And I think that's it, so we can just talk to this guy now.
Tell me... Hey, you! Will you look at me when I talk to you?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, of course I am talking to you. There is nobody else present, and this cage doesn't provide a whole lot of opportunity for going out, meeting people, and making new friends.
Huh? What?
Good question. A very good question indeed. Whatever is going on here? What do you think you're doing, dragging me from my tent in the middle of the night and locking me up in a cage? Okay, so it's a jungle out here, but that doesn't mean you have to exhibit manners that would make Ivan the Terrible blush.
Huh? What?
You already asked me that a few seconds ago. Do you have a very limited vocabulary? Are you extremely slow on the uptake? Or do you happen to suffer from short-term memory loss?
Huh? What?
All right. Next question. Is the dim-wittedness of the average guard inversely proportional to the budget for voice artists who synchronize minor characters? I don't assume you can answer that one either.
Huh? What?
Oh, please deliver me from this evil.
Guess they're saying they had a small budget for minor characters and that this guy is going to remain a very minor character.
That animal back there?
What about it?
Am I right in thinking that the poor creature perished from a long and futile struggle to carry on a reasonable conversation with you?
Huh? What?
I'll take that as a yes.
And they're getting their mileage out of that one line.
I'll try and make it simple for you. Why have I been locked in this cage? What have I supposedly done?
Looks like you were in the way.
In whose way? Yours? Are you with that weird sect, Puritas Cordis?
How do you know?
Right. Now at least I know that Puritas Cordis is behind all this. They have been bothering me for a while, but I still have no idea why. So who was that other weirdo? His dress sense was even more outdated than yours. Where did he go? To get some fashion advice?
None of your business.
I beg to disagree. After all, I'm the one locked up here, and there has to be a reason. So I do think that it is my business. Besides, I am going to have to report the two of you once I get out of here for kidnapping, hostage-taking, unlawful detention, and exposure to tasteless clothes.
You are not going to report anyone. Trust me.
This wasn't really what I wanted to hear. Are they just planning to let me croak here? The face on the temple wall behind me is almost as scary as your dress sense and nearly as awful as your intellectual style of speech.
What?
When see bad face on temple wall, me get bumps of goose.
Just shut up. I keep trying not to look at it. But no matter where I go, I feel this thing is always hunting me, always watching. It knows everything I do, my every thought.
It knows what you think? Obviously, it doesn't know a whole lot.
Do not mock the face. It can hear you and will punish you horribly.
What do you think it will do? Make me wear something atrocious?
Just go on like that. You'll see where it gets you. I want to leave here as soon as I can. Get away from here. Far away.
I am temporarily losing the necessary motivation for this conversation, so feel free to go back to staring idly into space.
Well, she seems to be very concerned with fashion. I feel like that's the big thing we learned from that conversation. This guy actually looks like he would fit right in with the Viet Cong.
Somebody must...
But, so we know at least Biggs or Wedge, one of them is here. And then I'm wondering if the agent on the yacht is the other one. I still find it funny. They had to have named them after the two pilots from Star Wars, because it's just too big to be a coincidence. So, journal entry, right. Caught in a tropical paradise. Max is visiting a small island in Indonesia where he is to prepare a photo documentary on the work of St. Peter's, who has discovered an ancient temple. However, her excavations led to an encounter with members of the Puritas Cordis sect who have been bothering her ever since. The trouble culminates in a kidnapping as Sam is abducted in the middle of the night. But what exactly do these people want from her, and how is Sam ever going to escape? Is Max still alive, and if he is there anything he can do to save her? Now, I actually solved this puzzle already. My game crashed during recording. They do give you this hint, because I was getting a little stumped, because I figured out you have this signal rocket, and I figured out, okay, you put that in the tube, you roll it down into the fire, it launches off. But they weren't clear on it, but she wouldn't just let it slide down, and this is really the help they gave you, which I find amusing. Like, this drawing was more helpful than this, because they want you to,
Should I take the orange? Or maybe the banana? A raspberry, perhaps? If I had a drop of sherry, some lemon juice, and a little whipped cream, I could make a fruit salad. I'll just take one of these oranges.
They want you to use the oranges as wheels, which didn't really strike me as very intuitive, because, you know, when you look at how that wire is shaped, I don't see the oranges rolling around their mounting point. I see them, the whole thing sliding as one assembly. But otherwise,
I should not remove more than 3 pieces of fruit, or someone might notice, and the stupid guard will start asking stupid questions.
it was kind of funny because I was trying different combinations of fruit, and you can actually take them off once you've skewered them and put them back. And it's like, you know, I feel like someone would raise questions about the holes in all the fruit that's in there. But so this is kind of like her improvised scud.
Somehow the construction reminds me of a tricycle. I could stuff the signal rocket in there.
Oh, right.
Not a bad concept. The oranges roll smoothly enough and could be used as wheels. Maybe I can build something around this.
Yeah, I'd have to try this, but I just don't see the oranges acting as wheels. I see them acting as skids, but...
The signal rocket goes into the bamboo tube, and then I adjust it a little, and voila! We've got what I like to call a mobile rocket launch pad.
And then this is amusing enough. And also, his foot is in the fire, at least sometimes.
A bold design and a bold plan. Fits well together. I only hope my little contraption will stay on course.
He has quite an eccentric personality, it seems. Yeah, instead of rolling like that, I would have seen it more like kind of jumping off the end. as its momentum carries it a little bit through the air, but
Oh, why do these things keep happening to me? Oh, what a mess. Someone should really... Where is Sam? What happened here? I vaguely remember hearing voices and... Oh, they kidnapped Sam. What am I going to do? Find Sam? But where do I look? She could be anywhere. I don't know my way around the island, and there are plants growing everywhere. Not a chance. What was that? The signal rocket was fired near the temple. Did Sam do that? Or could it be a trap? I've got to risk it. I can't let Sam down.
I was gonna say that temple is really the only point of interest that we can see that's within like 10 miles of this place. So, it's either they took her there or they took her, way out of the way. So, let's begin by, first we should read our journal entry. Quo vadis, Max? Max has come through the nighttime attack relatively unscathed. When he sees a signal rocket explode above the temple, he believes it to be a sign of life from Sam. But the temple is a long way off, and he might easily get lost in the dense jungle without a guide.
A stone. It's as flat as the jokes that I used to keep hearing from that lady I don't want to think about anymore.
Well, it seems like they had a very mutual breakup, as our unenthusiastic Max does not seem to much care for our unenthusiastic Nina at the moment.
Not a chance. Either I'm too much of a weakling, or I've decided it's the second alternative. Pretty big. It must weigh around 200 grams. I wouldn't be surprised if it eats more than just flies. By the time I've waded through the water to reach the frog, it will have hopped onto the next leaf and be sitting there, laughing at me. Being laughed at by a frog is definitely not good for my self-esteem.
Because that's your biggest concern right now.
To quote Heraclitus, Ponta Re, after all, adversity is no excuse for disregarding the educational opportunities of the situation. It's much too soon to drown myself, and it's too late to bathe.
Alright.
One of the many miracles of nature, which experts call a branch. This isn't going to work.
Sounds more like a Nina level commentary than what Max was giving us in the last game.
Hibiscus blossoms, even I know that. The petals are a beautiful deep red.
We'll just gather some of that then.
I don't usually go around tearing out flowers, but maybe these will be of some use. The fish are just avoiding the obstacle by jumping out of the water and over the cascade. I could name at least 20 people off the top of my head who wouldn't be that clever. A cast iron teapot.
Man, I really miss the original voices.
The fire's gone out, but the ashes are still smoldering. I don't think I should light the fire. If the guys who kidnapped Sam come back and find a campfire burning, they're bound to start looking for me.
What if we burn down the forest? Okay, destroy
I'd
tent.
be dead by now if I hadn't left my tent. Whoever kidnapped Sam obviously won't stop at murder. I should be careful. Some of these tent poles still look halfway usable. I'll take them with me. The explosion destroyed everything else, I'm afraid. I guess there used to be a flag here, but the explosion tore it down. It's stuck firmly in the ground. Sam's backpack. Let's see if there's anything useful in here. Sam sure carries some strange things around. Very strange things.
What do we got?
A donut in clear plastic wrap. I'll just remove the wrap. I'd like to stay in shape and keep my athletic good looks, So I'll leave eating donuts to bald, overweight, yellow cartoon characters.
Wow, didn't expect a Simpsons reference in this game. God, that's a show I haven't watched in forever.
A green balloon from Sam's backpack. I don't even want to know why she brought this on an archaeological expedition.
Is it really a balloon, though? Can we take the backpack down? Nope, we're just going to leave that there and not carry things in it. Can we fill the balloon?
The balloon has got a hole in it. So much for my brilliant idea of filling it with water.
Rats. Oh, what else we got? Beer can.
Why do so many people like beer? It must be hereditary. At home, we only use the stuff to catch slugs in the garden.
Max, isn't Germany home for you? I mean, beer's kind of big there. In fact, the developers of this game are German, so that's kind of an odd... I guess that's supposed to be a joke.
A hard hat with a lamp. Very useful for crawling through narrow tunnels where you can't use a flashlight.
Unless he's specifically referring to cheap beer, like that you would find in a can. Alright, what else we got? Did we try to take this already? Yeah.
Some documents that belong to Sam. A list of planets compiled by Sam. The natives of this island must already have known many of the planets in our solar system. That's sensational. And if I've interpreted Sam's scribbles on the back correctly, this list of planets and the symbols represent some kind of divine hierarchy. Venus, the goddess of love, is right at the top. Must have been a pretty fertile civilization, I guess.
The only one of these I don't recognize is Juno. So, let's see. Is that supposed to be Mercury? That's the only one I don't see.
According to the heading, this is a translation of the temple door's inscription. Sam must have put a lot of effort into this. It says, "Honor the goddess enthroned above all. With her radiant being and ever-open eye, she looks down upon her subjects, the mute and the homeless. Yet they have no one to blame for their miserable state but themselves. Were they not so self-centered, then they could see the riches at their feet, the queen's gold."
That sounds like a puzzle we'll be solving later.
The explosion must have torn it off its flagpole.
We'll just take that.
A peacock's feather. It must be from one of the totems Sam set up all around the camp to keep the wild animals away.
We'll just take that.
Sam said the eyes on the peacock's feathers would scare off wild animals. Apparently they think, wow, if that's the size of its eyes, how big is the whole animal? Well, if it works, who am I to complain?
We'll just take that.
These totems really keep the wild animals away. I had better leave them in place.
I don't think they're keeping the wild animals away in this state. What else? Did we miss anything? Garden.
It's the little monkey that runs on ahead whenever Sam goes to the temple. Cute little thing.
Well, our journal did say we need a
He didn't
guide.
come here to chase monkeys, and I'm sure he's better at climbing than I am. A little bit better, anyway.
Okay, what we got here? Treat.
A papaya tree. Actually, it's not really a tree at all, but a herbaceous perennial. But I don't think these details are so important right now. This is just like paradise.
I'm actually a little disappointed that didn't fall on his head.
A ripe papaya. Tasty. Wow, this is delicious. Try a papaya fresh from the shrub and you'll never touch the supermarket stuff again. They're worlds apart.
We should probably get another one. Whee.
This is just like paradise.
Can we eat this one too?
Wow.
Can we just keep doing this? I'm not going to do it again after this probably, but
This is
just because you can't skip the animation. It takes a little while to cycle. Alright, fence.
I guess this used to keep unwelcome visitors out of Sam's little garden.
We'll just take the fence with us, I guess. Is the garden the last... Oh, bamboo
A
tube.
long bamboo tube.
Take that.
Sam must have planted this. Doesn't look like the fence did much good, though. Most of the leaves have been chewed by slugs, and some have been gobbled up completely. I don't even know which of these have been planted and which of them are just weeds. Botany is not a hobby of mine.
Well, he did say they were chewed up by slugs and they used beer to get slugs, so can we just,
You can use bacon to catch mice and beer to catch slugs. I always did like that kind of gardening advice.
I guess we would just use the cling wrap, maybe?
The can is open. I'll just leave it there. Otherwise, I'll probably spill it all over my pants, and then I'll smell like a hobo for days. No sign of any slugs. Maybe they don't like light beer, although it's supposed to taste the same.
Alright, well, I think that's about all we can do for now, so... Right
How
ahead.
am I going to find the way to the temple in this jungle? Well, I've got to try this. I don't have much of a choice.
Oh, you want to show me the way? Cool. Off we go then.
Oh, that didn't work. Bummer. Oh.
Listen, little fellow, I'm a lame, untrained biped. You will need to slow down a bit. The first couple of yards were fine, but then you just disappeared, so please, wait for me next time, okay?
I need to think of something so I can follow that monkey more easily.
Alright, slugs yet?
No sign of any... I don't
know if,
2 glow sticks for emergencies. It's light enough out here.
We got a lot of stuff in our inventory. Let's see what the hint is. I find myself using it more often in this game because these puzzles feel a little less intuitive. Max is too slow to keep up with the monkey, and ordinary tracks are hard to make out when the ground is so overgrown. Perhaps there is a way to make the monkey's prints more visible. Green footprints and green surroundings would not be much help, however. Okay, so we gotta give him...
Hibiscus blossoms. Even I know that. The petals are a beautiful deep red.
Isn't hibiscus a tea?
I'll fill this with some water. Good idea. That will keep the blossoms nice and fresh. Just wait a few minutes. Hibiscus tea. Very nice. Now what do I do with it?
Good question.
Now it's red dye. Not at all appetizing.
Oh.
I wonder what it will turn into if I wait any longer. I don't have that much time. Better just take the stuff as it is. The once so fine hibiscus blossoms have been reduced to a soggy red mush. Nina would be so proud. Nina Kalenkov, my ex-girlfriend. Something between heaven on earth and the fires of hell.
Can we use...
A frosted donut.
Still edible balloon. That's probably not going to... Well, the monkey ought to eat papaya, right? Can we...
The papaya is now red.
Can we now give that to the monkey, and then maybe he'll carry it with him and...
Hey, how would you like a tasty papaya? There, buddy. Now you've got red hands, too.
See if this works now, maybe? Aha!
I don't care how fast you run now, just as long as you stay on the ground so I can follow your red tracks.
This looks like the temple. There's no sign of Sam, though. The monkey's tracks lead around the temple. Guess I should follow them. There she is. She's locked in a cage, and the guard is heavily armed. Things aren't looking too good from here. Maybe there's another way to get to her.
Max! He's alive! He found me! Now I stand a fighting chance of getting out of this cage in one piece. I had better keep quiet so the guard won't get suspicious. As long as I am the only one who knows that Max is prowling around this temple, our chances of launching a surprise attack aren't all that bad. I only hope that Max has got a plan, preferably a good one.
Yeah.
If only I had a plan.
So we see the guard has moved. Despite not wanting to stare at that thing, he is now staring exactly at that thing. Presumably so he wouldn't spot us when we came in. The fruit bowl has also been moved. I guess he must have moved it after her little thing.
I have no idea what kind of a plant this is, and I've never seen these white berries before. I'll just take some of these.
You know, they keep saying the guard is armed, but I don't see a piece on
The
him.
guy is heavily armed, and he seems pretty nervous, neither of which is going to work in my favor.
He has body armor, but he doesn't really have a gun or anything.
I'd rather stay in hiding. Besides, I bet he's not alone. I had better watch my step. Unless I'm very much mistaken, this is a carnivorous plant. No idea why they named it after the Roman goddess of love. I can't get there without being spotted by the guard.
If you laid on your belly and stretched out your arm, I think you could do it. Let's see, what else can we look at?
The bowl is full of fresh fruit. Why would they light a campfire in broad daylight? To keep the wild animals away?
Maybe he's cold.
A dead animal. Looks like she's holding up pretty well under the circumstances. I mustn't endanger her further, whatever I do. There's a hole in the wall beneath the face. That thing does look pretty scary.
Can we just hit him with the tube? No. And we hit him with the temples? No. Okay. Oh, we can't bribe him with the donut? Alright. I think... Where's my exit? Here it is. Doesn't seem we'll be able to do much there, so... What is this?
A strange plant. It reeks of carrion. Flies seem to love it, but I find it rather disgusting.
It's also colored red. I wonder if that means it's carnivorous too? Oh, we're just gonna take the whole thing.
A strange...
Alright, what else is there?
I would never have found the way to the temple without the monkey's red footprints.
We have this
The
door.
back entrance of the temple. Maybe I can get to Sam this way. A scrap of cloth fluttering in the breeze. But is it Sam's? Or does it belong to her kidnappers? This isn't some TV crime show, and I'm not a forensics expert. This scrap isn't gonna tell me the family history of the person it belonged to, nor what that person dined on this week. So I may as well just leave it there.
Come on, we're gonna use it eventually. Ooh, big spider web.
This is pretty big. I'd rather not meet the spider that made it. I'll just get rid of this web. I don't want to walk right into it by accident.
See, you let us take a random spider web that's off the beaten trail that we aren't gonna walk into, but you won't let us take a scrap of cloth.
There are some strange white lines on this tendril. No idea how they got there, or what they mean. Little fireflies. I'm surprised to see them here. I didn't think the jungle was their natural habitat. How am I supposed to catch flying creatures with my bare hands? If I could do that, I'd be working in a circus.
We gotta be able to use something. Oh, can we use the flashlight? Nah.
It's light enough.
Alright, what else do we have left? The hole.
A hole in the wall. It's rather a fascinating structure, actually. But I don't want to get too close. Those bees don't look very peaceful to me. If Sam's translation is correct, it says, "Honor the goddess enthroned above all. With her radiant being and ever-open eye, she looks down upon her subjects, the mute and the homeless. Yet they have no one to blame for their miserable state but themselves. Were they not so self-centered, then they could see the riches at their feet, the queen's gold."
Alright, so we gotta fill this with a bunch of stuff.
It's rather a fascinating. There are some situations where it's more convenient not to have hands covered in bee stings. Therefore, and for that reason alone, I will not perform this action. I could use this to knock down the honeycombs, but I don't want to face the wrath of the killer bees without proper protective clothing.
Now, is this going to let us just pop anything in?
It won't fit. It won't.
Niche is too small. The niche is too small.
It won't. It won't.
Okay, so there'll be at least some gating there.
White berries of some kind.
You don't know the first thing about botany, but you know about papyrus trees that apparently aren't trees.
A blue fly. A peacock.
Oh, is that gonna be
If Sam's honor that with her radiant being
being
and
and ever open eye?
a small is honored with her, yet they.
There we go. Radiant being. So what's radiant? I guess.
If Sam honored with her radiant being
Mute and the
ever open, yet they
homeless.
have no one to blame for their miserable state but themselves. Were they not so self-centered, then they could see the riches.
Mute and the homeless. Do we have anything that could represent that? I think so. Unless this.
A blue fly. If Sam's honor the goddess.
Yes, it is.
enthroned
Throned above all.
with her radiant being and ever open eye. She looks
Mute.
down, yet they have no one to blame for their.
I'm gonna put that there for now. Hey, Deutsch. So German something. Because we're kind of homeless, I guess. Okay, so we have 6 white lines. Is that related to the white berries? Let's go back to camp. We're missing things, I feel. Ah, we have a slug.
slug has actually climbed under the can. I'll rescue it before it drowns. A lot of people aren't too keen on snails, but slugs don't have shells, which makes them even more revolting.
I've never had problems with any of those. Can we... I mean, this guy's kind of homeless now. We could just
A lot of people...
pop him in there.
A blue flag.
Okay. Wait, did that spider web reappear? Did.
Looks like we've got some kind of contest going on here. I destroy the web, the spider rebuilds it. I destroy it again, the spider rebuilds. Great pastime for a boring Sunday afternoon. I'll bet anything that the web will be whole and undamaged by the time I come back.
Is that actually in our inventory? It's not. Okay, so... maybe we put the slug on the web? No. Wondering if we put something on there to try to... oh, it's not going to work.
List of planets.
So Venus. So we're looking for a Y
Natives of this island must identify the
with 2 lines. Is that what about the flag? No.
Now what?
I have no idea.
Yikes! They must be really hungry.
Oh shit. Okay, quick.
There are still a few bees about, but I'll risk it. Phew, that was lucky. I got through it all unscathed. A honeycomb full of tasty golden honey.
Queen's Gold, I guess. I don't think I've ever heard it that, but following the MO of this game, they tend to use key descriptors like that, so that's going to be down there.
Honor the goddess.
Enthroned above all,
radiant
radiant being, ever
open
eye. She looks down on her subjects, the mute,
yet they...
and the homeless. Alright, let's see. Beings, yep, so that was the firefly. Oh, so that's the slug. So, because they don't carry their home with them. Mute. So they need an animal. So like a frog or a fish, I guess, is there.
If Sam honor with her radiant being and ever open... Yeah,
so we still need to catch the fireflies.
Now I have a piece of red plastic wrap. Cling wrap.
Okay, I don't know if that helps us, but I was looking.
I'll just use these tent poles to stabilize the fence. Done.
Oh, okay. I don't know how that helps us. Can we put the fence back down? Oh, you know what? Isn't that how they catch fish?
The fish are just avoiding the obstacle.
I thought that's how they catch trout. Okay, are you doing my bidding, or...
Smart fish. Instead of getting caught in the fence, they jump over the top. Pretty clever.
Okay, but now they're closer, so can we... Maybe we can use the tent poles and the flag.
If I use this to cover the hard hat's lamp, I'll have a colored light, but what good will that do?
I have no idea. We're apparently solving a puzzle before we need to. Okay. We need something to catch the,
If I use this to... This is...
Oh! Okay. Here we go.
Use the flag as a fishing net? Okay, why not? I guess it's worth a try. Well, that was quick. I might consider a career as a fisherman.
There we go. And I'd say a fish is a pretty mute animal.
If these two...
Come on. There we go. So we can run back here. The mute and the homeless. Or fish.
If Sam's honor the
God is enthroned above all radiant
being, and yet...
Okay, so now we need to catch...
Little firefly. How am I supposed to catch...
Well, now we gotta catch the fireflies. Maybe we just keep grabbing this web?
Looks like we've got some kind...
Nope, it just reforms.
Bet any...
Oh, you know what? We gotta lead them over to the web, I bet. We can't put the right cling wrap there. I don't know what attracts fireflies other than light, though.
It's lighting.
Do we have any interact points?
This isn't...
Can we put the hard hat on there?
I would never... Looks...
Okay.
I'll bet...
Can we put... Aha. You won't be putting your, flag there. Flies love it.
I can't get out from behind the tree without being spotted. But maybe it will smell bad enough from here to distract the guard.
Holy shit, that thing is huge. Or who is he holding that?
The guard isn't reacting at all. I guess the distance is just too great.
Now we should be able to push it out, maybe?
Bamboo tube is...
10 poles.
I'll put 2 of these poles together. That will give me an extended range.
Yuck! What is this horrible stench? It's worse than a skunk!
Do they have skunks in Indonesia?
If I ever decide to become an evil mastermind, I'm going to make sure I never employ guards with sensitive noses.
Now we can grab this at least. Oh, hey, maybe this is how we get the fireflies. Okay, now let's go back. Or we just get them, I guess.
Come on, my little buddies. I'm here to rescue you from the nasty monster spider.
Guess I'll just take this back too. And actually, Venus flytrap, that's a Venus, so I think that's the top. So this should do it.
Done!
Yes, I am so great. They should make me the leading man in a movie or in a computer game. Okay, let's see what awaits me in this temple and how I can get to Sam.
Oh, well, that's no bueno.
What was that? The barkeeper shoots at me and then takes off in a helicopter seconds before the ship is swallowed by a gigantic monster wave? Did I just dream that? Why would that guy shoot at me? And did he know about the wave, or did the helicopter just happen to pick him up at exactly the right moment? Probably not. After all, he was going on and on about the end of the world and being rescued by that Puritas Cordis sect. What is the meaning of all this? By Poseidon. Looks like I've got quite another set of problems for now. The ship hasn't sunk yet, but since it capsized because of that monster wave, it only appears to be a question of time. I've got to get out of here, and fast.
Alright, so it looks like they got a Windows blue screen back here, except with red instead of blue, because everything's red. And Nina is once again fighting for her life, and that guy is probably Bones. So, seems like a good transition to leave off on. I'm surprised they went back to Nina so quickly, but guess we'll have to find out what happens with Max and Sam later. So with that, thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for next time, and we'll see you then.